Yeah, I know, it's the third headphone review in a row, but don't panic, I'm just waiting for the next phones to arrive. I mean, the year just started, and due to my cold and not being able to make some headphone reviews, I just have to make a little bit of catch up. But I also have to say this from the beginning. I am sorry for everyone who bought the Blitzwolf FYE4 based on my review of the FYE2. Because back then people told me on paper it looks like the 4 are just improved too, so should I just buy these? And I actually never recommended the 4s. I always said on paper they look better, but until I actually get them, I can't confirm or deny anything. But now that I have them here, I have to say the 4s, even though they have a few improvements, also have actually some downsides that still make the FYE2 the better ones. And I have to say that the FYE2 at a price of $30 are still my first choice. I've reviewed like 4 by now, but I'm getting like 2 or 3 more, and I'm trying to get way more in the future, just because I have to say, when I'm on the go, for me convenience is key, and I still want good sound, and therefore those truly wireless ones are just so nice. Obviously I still like the higher end headphones, that's why I got some Denon to review here, 2 ones, the 5200 and the 7200, but let's talk about these ones here, and I'm gonna actually quickly go through my notes, because yeah, whenever I can't really recommend something for a reason, I don't want to take too much of your time. So let's get into a few things. The case is slightly improved, but even though it actually might look at first a little bit smaller, it's not that much, because as you can see, it's not quite as high, but therefore it's a little bit wider. So as you can see it like this, it's still pretty much the same size, but it has a few benefits, like for example now offering charge indicator. I definitely like that, and the magnets just work a little bit stronger, so it attaches a little bit better and it closes a little bit stronger. This one is a little bit more loose, but it's absolutely fine. It should allow for 3 or 4 more charges. We obviously also get, once again, the smaller tips than usual, and that's why I said in my last review we get X, S, S, and M. And someone just told me, why do you not just call it small, medium, and large? Because the smaller ones are just noticeably smaller than usual smaller ones. So that's still here the case, and they still work very good for me. There is no hook in the box this time, which is fine. I never really needed them. In terms of size, nothing has really changed compared to the 2s. It just looks a tad little bit different, but generally they look a little bit different, but in terms of in-hand feel, I have to say, or the in-head feel, they are very, very similar. What I've noticed, that they maybe are a little bit more secure in your ear, but maybe not quite as forgettable. So maybe that little bit extra secureness, it's what it turns on, and that's why it's maybe not quite as comfortable, but it's so marginal. Without having both actually side by side in my ear all the time and trying that, I wouldn't have noticed. So that's just that. I have to say they are still very comfortable, they are super lightweight, and I definitely like that we have buttons instead of touch controls, which is just a way better solution. But that already actually brings me to how easy they are to power, and for example the controls, because without the controls I am not happy with these, because how it worked on the FYE2, a long press on the right side was skipping the track forward, on the left side stripping it backward. This time it works with a double tap on each side to get to the track, but the moment you do that, you get an audio confirmation with a beep. And at that point it just comes from the ear which you push. But that means that moment they unpair for this little bit of a time, which means whenever you skip a track with the headphone, you get only mono for about 4 seconds. That is annoying. I mean, if you skip the track with your phone, that is not a thing. But I mean, I skip tracks quite often just because it's so convenient on the button, and I don't want to lose the pairing. So the 2 didn't do that. I don't know why these do that. It's a little bit annoying. Other than that, let's quickly go through a few things. No volume control, that's obviously still a thing, because no touch controls anyways, and there are no extra buttons. So it would have been actually cool, but it's just not the thing. But therefore we have real buttons, which I like. They can be used in mono and stereo, so that is possible. But for me, what I've noticed is that mono only works with the left one, which is the boss. No aptX, which still means a little bit more compressed, a little bit delay. I mean, the delay is fine for the occasional shorter video, but not for longer periods of time. Background is not really an issue. A little bit audible white noise. Battery life was actually a little bit disappointing, because from my testings in 2 runs, I got about 4 hours consistently on the 2s, where I only get about a little bit more than 3, maybe 310, 320 at best on the 4s, which is odd, because on paper the chip should have been more efficient and it should deliver more. Why they don't do that, I don't know. And that's that. The connection was still stable. Let's go to the Soundstage imaging, sound signature and everything, but that I'm gonna keep short, because that's where I'm the most important disappointed thing. Soundstage, very small, very claustrophobic. There is not much imaging going on, because there is not really much dynamic going on. There's not really much going on besides bass. I'm gonna get into that, so not happy with that. The 2 did so much better. Sound signature, this is the oddest part. I mean, yes, the 2 had a bass that boosts quite noticeably, but the mids and especially the highs actually could catch up on that and kind of soften the blow. But these, it's not possible, because these have so much more bass than the FYE4, FYE2, but it's not a better bass, because it's not a real deep, powerful bass, it's not a punchy bass, it's not much, it's just a lot of bass. It's not really good bass. I mean, it's not a bad bass, but it's just way too much. The mids, I would say, are still actually holding up quite well, but then there are pretty much no highs. And it's not like I don't hear them, because otherwise I wouldn't hear them on the FYE2 or any other headphone. My ears are still fine. These just lack highs a lot. And I actually thought already maybe mine are broken, I should get a spare pair. But someone in the comments told me when I said this, no, don't worry, yours are fine. I have the FYE2 and 4 as well. The 4s, just a lot of bass, not really even good bass, but not a lot of highs. So for what kind of music are they working if you really just want bass? And this is actually the odd thing. I got comments on people who bought the 4 based on my 2 review, and pretty much all of them so far were super happy. All of them praised me for the review and were super happy because the decision was right and for my recommendation, even though I didn't really recommend them. So I guess anyone who's not really used to really good audio, because those came from stock headphones that you get with a phone, it's still better. I mean, still better than that, but they are very bass heavy. So I guess for younger people who just still like, which I have to say in the past I did too, when I was younger, liked a lot of bass. But I mean, they're just way too unbalanced. There is pretty much no high, and especially trying to watch, listen to a podcast or something like that was pretty much torture, because the voices had so much emphasis on bass. There was no high, no clarity and all, and for the music about as well. So if you have music that doesn't really need anything more than bass, these might be fine, but generally, nah. So competition, get for the same price, just get the 2s. And for all those asking about the 5s, I've requested them. I just didn't get any answer back if I will get those, because I mean, they can't really be worse than the 4s. And the Xiaomi AirDots, are definitely better, but they also cost twice as much. But generally and overall, that would be definitely the one that I would recommend over them. But for $30, these are still my first choice, the FYE2. So let's get quickly to the pros and cons. Good case with charge indicator, very good comfort and fit. Controls work fine, but then we have the downsides, so not the stereo effect all the time if you switch it tracks. That's just bad. No aptX, and mono only works with the left side and such things. But I don't want to drag it any further. I don't like these, even though I really would have to. Because if they would have had the same sound signature than the 2s, I would have been all over them, because they come with the better case and everything else, and they are noticeably louder in case you want that as the 2s. But with that sound signature, with that sound quality, nah, sorry, no. Okay, that was it. Until next time, bye.